Hello and welcome to another review. Today we'll be taking a look at the LEGO Ninjago's Dragon Risings, Zane's Dragon Power Spinjitzu race car. That was a mouthful, but here we have the actual product here in the box form. Here we have at the front, very nice view of everything we get. We have the race car here with Zane piloting it. We have two and a half bad guys. We got one here and one here. They both have a sort of like flying sort of just thingy-me-bob, I guess. And we have a sort of droid kind of just floating there as well. And Cole comes in this set as well. Down here at the bottom right, we have our 4 minifigures: Zane, Cole, Imperial Claw Hunter, and Imperial Guard Commander. Pretty cool. This set is 7+, is set number 71791, and here's our set name and our set pieces with 307 pieces. Up here at the top of the box, we have LEGO up in the corner with our set number. We have all of our characters kind of in the fighting sort of stance. Cole facing off against the Imperial Commander, and Zane facing off against the Imperial Hunter. Here we have a 1-to-1 replica, or 1-to-1 piece, or size, I should say, with Zane here showcasing that. Off to the side of the box, we have Aaron kind of just chilling, I guess. Back of the box, some interesting stuff happening. So, the main sort of part of this, we have the race car. You can see it's in the second mode, which we'll take a look at when we sort of look at the set. But you can see here, it's showcasing that second mode where it kind of spins. We have their 2 bad guys, sort of looks like they're running away, and then Cole in the background with our little droid. Up at the top of the box, we can see that there is a second mode, so you kind of flip the spoiler down, and it kind of raises the wheels and lowers the kind of middle section, and it spins with the sort of Dragon Ball power. And it showcases that with it kind of spinning and knocking off our 2 bad guys. Down here in the bottom right, we can see that there are 6 Dragon Power balls, and we get the ice one in this one. Without further ado, that is the box, the packaging. We'll take a look at the product and what we get inside. So here we have everything out and about and everything built. This set comes with 4 figures and a little droid figure. And the main sort of piece to the set is the race car. We'll toss that to the side first and look at our 2 hunters on their sort of little makeshift like hover sort of glider type things. And we'll look at the actual droid. So both like hover, dropped it. Both hover things are the same sort of build and come with a sticker up here at the front. They're gold sort of accenting with red and black being the main coloring. At the back here we have 2 boosters, and this sort of base thing is able to spin kind of like this. Yeah, not very much going on, but it is interesting and gives the bad guys something to have and face off against the actual race car, and adds to the spinning feature we'll have later. Here's one of the figures, one of the hunters. We'll take a look at that when we look at the minifigures, but just thought I'd give you a sneak preview. So we have the other hunter. Again, it's the same exact model. We build 2 of these. The bottom spins, same building, same sticker, same everything. And here's the other hunter. Pretty cool. I really love the sort of aesthetic they're going with, like the gold and the black, and the kind of samurai-esque looking figures. Here is the droid, nothing too crazy going on. He's got 2 sort of blades for arms, gold ears. This translucent piece acts as its eyes, And interestingly enough, it uses a mic piece here at the bottom to connect the orange translucent piece, which is really interesting. So setting those off to the side, we'll look at the main sort of spectacle of the set. Taking Cole off and just setting him to the side, we'll look at this here. So this is the actual race car. Pretty cool, honestly, and I love the color scheme they go with. This sort of white with this really, really nice, like, neon, I wouldn't say neon, but really, really nice blue. It really makes it pop. There's a little bit of gold accessing on it as well, just mostly at the front, but kind of throughout as well, especially here with the booster. You can see there's taillights here at the back. They're really, really cool spoiler. The back tires are rubber, which are really nice, and the front tires are plastic. There's a reason for that. And we'll take a look at it in a few. Here we have the two Ice Dragon balls here, and those come into play later, but are really, really cool. They sit off to the side like that. An interesting feature here at the front, we have this really cool sticker on our sort of piece here, but if you lift that, like so, you can actually see that there is a sticker symbolizing the sort of engine, which is really, really cool, honestly. Like the sort of blue piece here with wires coming off of it. Makes it look really, really interesting. Closing that back up, at the front as well, we have two sort of ice spikes coming out just to add to the ice aesthetic, as Zane is the master of ice. And we have two swords kind of coming together just to make this really interesting sort of cool front end of the vehicle. I really, really like that. There is quite not a whole ton of stickers, but the stickers they do use are pretty cool. We can see there's one off to the side, one to the top here, and two for the actual spoiler there. We saw that there was one at the front and another one for the engine block. There are two golden handguns, which give us a sort of interesting little vibe going on and really add to it. Looking into the cockpit, we can see we have Zane up here. Taking him out for a second just to see what the seat looks like. It's this sort of like beige coloring. And then up here at the front, the actual controller of the vehicle is none other than a controller, which is really cool. There is no sticker, it's just a blank black controller piece, but still interesting. Without further ado, we'll take a look at the actual gimmick of the set, which is a sort of spin feature. But first of all, I guess we'll see that this actually spins, or rolls quite a lot, and does kind of spin without being in the spin sort of thing. It is super easy to kind of like turn it. I'm not sure if it's picking up, but it is quite loud with these plastic front tire pieces. So without further ado, let's check out the sort of spin feature. So setting it down, we have this piece here, and kind of stops this here. Not really, it's stationary by its own, but still kind of adds to the aesthetic, I guess. So just, not breaking it. Put that back on. Just bringing that down as far as it will go. It kind of goes down like that. That's as far as it will go. And then we bring down the spoiler here. So doing that, I don't know if that's picking up on camera, but the tires kind of shift a little bit. They shift up. See if you can see, yeah, you can see it better like that. So this is with the spoiler up, and then we bring it down and the tires sort of shift. Now, when that happens, you can spin it like so. And this is the gimmick of the set. So setting our sort of bad guys up, we will make it to where they spin and get attacked by the spinner. Just like so. Oh, this guy lost his hat. Alright, and now we spin. And they get launched away. It's quite interesting. Super sort of movable. And it's interesting too because the actual balls, they don't really move when it's spinning. It's kind of hard to see that, but I don't know. It still works, so cool. Just bringing that back. You can see, maybe try to spin it. It doesn't really spin, it's just the front end that goes because of the rubber tire pieces in the back. But you can still kind of move it around, it's still movable. So that does add to sort of play. If they had used 4 rubber tires instead of 2 in the back and 2 plastic, I'm sure it really wouldn't have worked out as well. It would have been a lot harder to turn. But it is interesting nonetheless. We'll set this off and look at minifigures next. We'll get the bad guys out of the way first. Here we have this sort of droid character. We looked at this more in detail earlier, but again, just a little more show and tell. Just a small little build, nothing too crazy going on here. Just a droid to kind of fight against, I guess. Setting this off with our set in the back. Boom, boom. We'll take a look at our bad guys. This guy I like quite well. Focus a little bit. He comes with a staff, a buildable staff, which is really interesting build, honestly. We have this long, okay, it's just focusing on this. We'll move this, I guess. I wanted to have it in the back, but I guess it's not going to work. We have this interesting buildable staff, black piece with a gold lightsaber handle, and then with these 2 sort of golden spikes off to the side, which are really interesting. And kind of like, make it like a power stab or something, like you can kind of deal. It's really cool, honestly. The character here, the guard, I think he was. What was this? The Imperial Guard Commander. So this is the commander. He has this really cool sort of like bucket hat, which kind of not hides, but sort of conceals his head, which is interesting. Just looking at this now, it's kind of like a basket almost, like this, but just flipped over. Kind of interesting. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could put something here, but overall it's an interesting piece. Taking that off so we can get a better look at the actual face printing of the figure. Focus. It won't focus. Why aren't you focusing? Hi, there we go. So this kind of singular, again, not focusing. Hello. He has a singular eye with gold printing around. Okay. I don't know why it's not focusing. Hello. 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 There we go. Hi. With gold sort of printing. He doesn't have a second face. He just kind of has this back end there with a little singular eye there. It makes him look like a sort of android, which I'm sure he probably is. He has the same sort of printing as Raptor does in the previous set we looked at, and Sora's transforming mech bike. But the printing is really cool, so I can't complain with that. Taking off the head so we can take the armor off. Just simple armor, black armor. You can get a better look at the printing. Again, just the same as Raptor's is, but still really cool. Setting him off to the side, we'll look at the other bad guy, the Imperial Claw Hunter. This guy is actually really interesting and comes in this sort of samurai aesthetic, which I really like. Here he is here. He comes with a dual molded sword here, which came with Raptor in the previous set, which I really like and is really cool. This sort of orange translucent piece with the gunmetal gray handle. Really cool sword. Can cut through probably anything. It's probably molten, honestly. You gotta watch the show. And here we have our Claw Hunter. This golden aesthetic. He has different printing than the previous guy we looked at, but still has this sort of orange highlights going through, which are really cool. This helmet is kind of giving off samurai vibes, which is really interesting. So this kind of front piece, it gives a little visor for the actual, like, to see what the face printing it looks like. But like looking at the back and the side of it, like, it's an interesting helmet nonetheless. Looking at that and more just on its own, here's what it looks like. An interesting piece. We'll set that to the side and look at the character without the helmet on so you can see the actual face printing. So it's a golden head with golden printing on it and orange for the eyes. Again, the same back head printing as the the commander, and the same armor but in gold. We'll take the armor off so we can look at the printing for the character. We'll put the head back on. Here we are. Very, very nice printing, and a lot of printing at that too. He's got torso printing, waist printing, leg printing, and even at the feet there's printing as well with this maroon color, which is really, really cool. And the back printing is also really good as well, even though most of it will be hidden on most of the time with his armor on. But if you want to take his armor off and have him chilling, like, he's a pretty cool character. Next, we'll take a look at Cole and then leave off with Zane, the main sort of character of the set. So with Cole, with both ninjas, really, they come with two golden swords. You can put them both in the back there. I just have him with it in his hand and one on his back. Really interesting sort of design for the ninjas this season. With the sort of hood, and then the battle armor / half mask, which is interesting. And then the sort of, I don't really know what this is, but it's like a sort of face mask, which is really cool. When paired with the armor and the mask, the hood I should say, it creates the interesting sort of look for the ninjas. Makes them almost look evil, which is cool. For his Cole here, we have a black and orange design, with orange being mostly the torso, but there is a little bit throughout. As with all the ninjas, they sort of have their own symbol off on their torsos. And here at the back, we can see that there is the dragon with the sort of ball of power in the middle there. That is symbolized in gold. Really, really cool against the black and the orange. That was it for Cole. I'll take a look at Zane. Pretty much the same, just in his own color scheme of white and that sort of light blue we saw on the racer. Again, with this sort of face mask as well, which looks really cool against the titanium coloring that we have. Very interesting. Again, makes him look kind of evil, which gives a sort of, I don't know, makes it more interesting. This really does. I'm curious to see this paired with previous masks and see how that looks. Again, there's a lot more blue coloring than really white on the torso, which is cool. And his own golden symbol there. Again, on the back, we can see the golden dragon and the secondary face kind of, he almost looks mad too, which is interesting. Not really neutral, as you would expect. That is it for the figures. We'll take a look at final thoughts and the instructions. Here we have our sticker book here. We can see that there's a little bit of stickers going on. 2 for our bad guys, and the rest are for the actual racer. So that's just off to the side. We'll look at extra pieces. Here we are. Nothing too crazy. There is a extra mic piece in light gray. There is this light blue colored cheese slope piece right here. And there is an extra sword, but nothing else. Orange translucent, about it. There's quite a few for such a small set, but cool. We'll look at the instructions. So here we have all of our things out. 2 bad guys, a droid, Cole, and our racer with Zane. Nothing too crazy. Again, it kind of continues that sort of golden look for the instruction manual instead of the standard white. And the progress bar is an orange bar with Zane walking across it. Nothing else to note for the instruction manual here. That's about it. There are nothing else special. And just flipping through as you go, it's just your standard instruction manual. That is it for that. We'll take a look at final thoughts and close out the video. Some final thoughts on the Dragon Racer. Quite a long name for such a small set, but is cool set nonetheless. This set is cheaper side, a smaller amount of pieces, but comes with a lot of figures. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but it retails for $39.99 Canadian and $34.97 or $34.99 for US pricing. There's a lot going on for such a small set, which is really cool. The racer with the 2 modes is awesome, and the look of the actual racer is really, really cool as well. It does roll really well, which is nice. Comes with 3 bad guys, to kind of fight against, along with two main ninjas, which was really interesting. There's a lot going on for this sort of building. It's not too complicated, so it's fit for sort of younger children, and is good for a nice sort of gift for your younger sort of siblings or children. Overall though, great set, and for most of the sets that we've looked at so far, they've been really, really cool, and I'm quite interested to see the sort of other sets of the wave. I know there's quite a few left to look at, so we'll be definitely checking those out, but this one here is really cool and has a lot to offer for such a small piece count and small price point, which is awesome. Overall, a great set and highly recommend. But that'll be it for this review. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review. Peace.